mein Hauch und Herz. Kehr ein bei mir und schließe du still hinter dir die Pforten zu, treib an den Schmerz aus dieser Brust. Voll sei dies Herz von deiner Lust, von deiner Lust. Dies Augenzelt von deinem Glanz allein erhellt. O fühl es ganz, o fühl es ganz. Dies Augenzelt von deinem Glanz allein erhellt. O fühl es ganz, o fühl es ganz.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Diana Smith, the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Society, and my pronouns are she and her. It is wonderful to be with you all this morning. As we gather, we give thanks for this land and all who have cared for it over the centuries, particularly the Chickapow, the Iowa, the Sauk and Meskwaki, and the Oceti-Sakowin nations. As people of many ages, genders, races, sexual orientations, classes, abilities, and health statuses, we know how important it is to come together as a radically welcoming spiritual community. Our faith expresses our core value of love through how we agree to be together and to support each other. And so, as we gather, we affirm that wherever any of us is on our life's journey, whether we come to worship with joy in our hearts, weighted with burdens, in need of rest, or searching for people to engage in the struggle with us, we are glad. And this community is glad that we are here. If you're here in person, to help ensure a smooth stream for those who are watching on YouTube, please either turn off your phone or else silence it and turn off your Wi-Fi. And if you need an app or device to help you engage with this worship service, we hope that you'll do so. Also, it sounds like for those of you who are online today, we may just be broadcasting audio. Our tech folks are on it, and if we're able to get video during the service, it will appear. So bear with us, and we will see what happens. Today, we are thinking about and celebrating books, particularly ones that have been banned or challenged. Some books are so powerful that ideas from the minds of people far away or long ago are suddenly alive in our own minds. Events that never happened become as real for us as yesterday's thunderstorms, or things that we thought were only true about ourselves but couldn't possibly be true for anyone else are right there on the page.
It was a dark and stormy night.
Dorothy lived in the midst of great Kansas prairies with Uncle Henry, who was a farmer, and Aunt Em.
In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit.
Where's Waldo?
We slept in what had once been the gymnasium.
It was a pleasure to burn.
I am an invisible man.
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since.
I hope I will be able to confide everything to you, as I have never been able to confide in anyone, and I hope you will be a great source of comfort and support.
I became what I am today at the age of 12 on a frigid, overcast day in the winter of 1975.
Ships at a distance have every man's wish on board.
When he was nearly 13, my brother Jim got his arm badly broken at the elbow.
124 was spiteful.
It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13.
There are guavas at the shop and save.
In the roads where the teams moved, where the wheels milled the ground and the hooves of the horses beat the ground, the dirt crust broke and the dust formed.
You better not never tell nobody but God.
Like many fathers, mine could occasionally be prevailed upon for a spot of airplane.
I am Jazz.
A long time ago, when all the grandfathers and grandmothers of today were little boys and little girls or very small babies, or perhaps not even born, Pa and Ma and Mary and Laura and baby Carrie left their little house in the big woods of Wisconsin.
We didn't always live on Mango Street.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Some books are so powerful that just by reading their opening line, we are transported to magical worlds where anything is possible. This has happened to me many times. Has it happened to you? Maybe just now with some of those opening lines as you tracked where they're from. So I invite you now to a time of story and song. Take a breath with me and let your mind be open to the possibility of new things, to the comfort of familiar characters, and to the worlds we create together through our words and actions. Since we are the authors of this story, we begin by thinking more about who we are and who we hope to be. As Mitchell and Xinghui lead us in singing hymn number 346, come sing a song with me. Please rise in body or in spirit as we join our voices in song here at UUS or wherever you are.
Thank
Good morning. I'm Emily Johnson, a worship associate and member of UUS. My pronouns are she, her. As Unitarian Universalists, we light a flame within a chalice as a symbol of sanctuary and safety to unite us in our worship and to remind us of our ongoing search for the light of truth. Please join me in saying our chalice lighting words as John, Veronica, and Maria light our chalice. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the wonder and mystery of this great gift. So let us now kindle the flame of our liberal religious heritage and renew our covenant of mutual love and care. Love is our doctrine, the quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to serve those in need. This we promise, this we covenant with life and one another. When we light our candle for justice and healing, we know that our liberation is bound up with every other person's liberation. We light this candle that we may not be numbed or lost to injustice and trauma, but rather find strength, courage, and love together to continue engaging with the struggles for liberation, justice, and healing. We light this candle to help us remind ourselves that together we are creating resilience and hope. Today, as we light this candle, we're particularly mindful of the librarians, teachers, and communities fighting back against the censorship that would strip us all of the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. As I light this candle, let's hold a time of silence to listen to our hearts and bodies, or perhaps to lift up prayers. If you're newer to our community, we're glad you're here. If you're here in person, I bet your neighbor or a greeter in the atrium would love to tell you more about UUS or give you a tour. If you're here online, there's a link to a visitor form in YouTube Notes so that we can connect with you. Our congregation is made up of many people and of many communities. We gather in many ways to learn, sing, laugh, share meals, try new things, and help repair our beautiful, broken world. Together, we create a community that nurtures us as we seek to live love more fully and fiercely into the world. This coming week, one way we're living our values is Wonderful Wednesday. This Wednesday, September 21st, with a potluck dinner that starts at 6, followed by all ages activities that will include a banned book read-in. If you'd like to know more about these and other programs, we hope you'll sign up for our weekly email or look for our Connect Beyond Sunday guide.
So, as you know, we are celebrating Banned Book Week, and I love books. Who else loves books? Good, we have a lot of book lovers here. Over my lifetime, books have given me wings. They've let me travel through the stars and into the tiniest recesses of the human body. They've helped me learn about both the ecology of the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression and what it was like to live through that time in many different bodies and families and parts of the world. Books have helped me explore what it would be like to be a girl detective, a doctor, a veterinarian, a builder, an architect, a forester, and much, much more. They've also helped me know that I wasn't alone when I struggled with difficult situations, found my way through my own mental illness and health challenges, made big decisions, and validated my changing spirituality. That is, books helped me know that I wasn't alone in all of these things, that other people had experienced them or thought about them too. Have you experienced things like that in books? I bet so. But books have also confused and distressed me or upset me when I didn't see families or communities like mine show up on their pages, Or when communities like mine, communities that were poor and had people of many different races and national origins and sexual orientations in them, were looked down on or talked about as less than, less important, or less worthy of consideration. And books have also confused or distressed me when experiences of who I am weren't shown or were treated as less important. I'm guessing some of you have experienced that too. We know that representation in books, that is, seeing the wide diversity of human expression shown and valued, is very important for people of all ages. It helps our self-esteem. It helps us see things as possible in our own lives. It helps us develop empathy for people with different experiences, and it helps us be a better neighbor. We know that having diverse books in libraries is very, very important. And we also know that the types of lives and experiences that show up in books are often one of the main reasons that books are banned or challenged. There are many things that people are doing to keep diverse books in libraries. Emily Johnson, our worship associate, will talk about some of those things a little bit later. But right now we have two special people who are here who are helping build diverse libraries. They're here to talk about how they're doing that, and we're so happy that we can help them build those libraries. First, we have Ann Kreitman, who's here to talk about the LGBT, that's the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, Iowa Archives and Library. And then we'll have Quanda Hood here to talk about Better Way Forward in the Clear Creek Amana School District's Libraries, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion collection and the importance of diversity and representation in books. So first, Anne, would you like to come up here?
Thank you, Reverend Diana, and thank you all for inviting me here to share space with you today. My name is Ann Kreitman. I am the Associate Director for the LGBTQ Iowa Archives and Library, which we lovingly call LIAL for short. We've been around for about 2 years now, and this year we moved our library and community space into the gorgeous Close House with Public Space 1 in Iowa City. Our mission is to collect and share Iowa's LGBTQ history, which many people don't realize we have a lot of. And while you may not be able to take home and read over historical love letters or a limited edition woodworking manual written by and for lesbians, both of which we have, you can check out books from our library. You can take them home with no fees if you return them late and immerse yourself in belonging. I have never been less lonely than when I'm at Lyle. That is the power of seeing an exclusively LGBTQ-focused library. In the 1970s, there was a movement started to create LGBTQ community libraries because often university and public libraries refuse to buy, shelve, or even print our books. And even today, in addition to growing book bans, if you are a trans person looking for literature to imagine your future, your community, your becoming, due to library classification systems, you are very likely to see affirming trans empowerment books shelved right next to a book saying you don't deserve to live. If you come to Lyle and sit in our big cozy chairs, not only will you find LGBTQ positive banned books next to other affirming books, you may run into someone older or younger than yourself. Someone who, just by existing, can light your path forward. Offer you a glimpse at what life could be like. Queer people don't often get that in Iowa, and we believe that is a gift worth giving. For those of you who have donated to our children's book drive already, we thank you so much, and we're still collecting those books to help diversify and expand our literature for young people and for our queer story times. And also, we have an activity and a pop-up library after the service, and we invite you to come talk to us, learn more, and check out what we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anne. And now, Quanda, would you like to come up and talk about Better Way Forward?
Borrowing from the Truman Show, good morning in case I don't see you later, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Kwanda Hood, my pronouns are she and her, and I am the chair of Better Way Forward, a nonprofit affiliate group of the Clear Creek and Manor School District dedicated to supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion, or as we like to say, being a Jedi. That means that we champion accessibility, justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion in almost everything that we do within the district. It's a privilege to speak to you today about Banned Book Week and Better Way Forward. Have you ever read a book that has shifted your world on its axis? A book that shattered a paradigm you thought you knew and understood? A book that healed your soul? A book that made you angry, sad, left you shook or woke or humbled? That's the power of books. Whether a religious text, personal story, historical account, or an autobiography, words matter. Better Way Forward's goal is to ensure there is access and freedom to all books, following the guidelines of reading levels and appropriateness with qualified, educated professionals, librarians and teachers, whose training and experience prepares them for doing the work to educate our youth. Our future depends on the voices and actions of our young people. Our future starts with providing access to reading materials showing a wide range of viewpoints, perspectives, stories, and truths. Books serve not only as mirrors, representation of ourselves, but also windows, representation of others. And doors, access to pathways, relationships, information previously inaccessible. When we limit access to information and reading materials, we limit the capabilities of our future. We are telling young people that exploration doesn't matter, and we are modeling our future of where we are, that is good enough. The most challenged and banned books are almost always books that celebrate and represent marginalized and disenfranchised groups. By taking access to those books away, the world is intentionally telling people within those groups that there is something wrong or bad with who they are, and this cannot stand. This sums it up succinctly for me, the relationship of reading and public education, and what Better Way Forward is about, making sure that our public libraries in our district contain books that represent everyone. I'm going to quote John Green here, so a little bit at the end, there's a questionable word, but just bear with me. John Green said, "Public education does not exist for the benefit of students or for the benefit of their parents. It exists for the benefit of the social order. We have discovered as a species that it is useful to have an educated population. You do not need to be a student or have a child who is a student to benefit from public education. So let me explain for why I like to pay taxes in schools. Even though I don't personally have a kid in school, it's because I don't like living in a country with a bunch of, cover your ears, kids, stupid people." I'm quoting that, not my words. I'll close with this. There is a reason the First Amendment says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or the freedom of press. Because without this critical provision, a society and government, albeit formed under the dark clouds of patriarchy, systemic and institutionalized oppression, would remain shackled to the idea that that is good enough. So be a Jedi and read. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support.
Thank you, both. How we give, what we do with our lives, our time, and our resources is a reflection of our values. In response to the abundance we are blessed with, every week this congregation donates generously to organizations in the community whose work aligns with our values and principles. Our community partner agency this month is Shelter House, which operates a 70-bed emergency shelter in addition to 4 homes in an apartment building, which provides more than 60 permanent supportive housing units. They focus on programs and support services, including housing, employment, and mental health recovery. On the screen, you should see instructions for how to give online, or you may take this time to write a check and address an envelope to UUS to be put in the mail. If you're attending the service here in the sanctuary, you can give online, or there is a basket for checks in the atrium. The usher can help you find it after the service. You may assist our community partner, contribute to the congregation to provide additional support for our operating expenses, or contribute towards your pledge to our society. The offering is a sign of commitment to this free congregation, which is completely supported by the generosity of all who join with us. If you brought a book for either of this week's collections, we invite the young and young at heart to bring those up to the front now. There are additional donated books with Nick in the back to bring up if you weren't able to bring one today. And you can place them on this table right here. As we give and receive the offering, may we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts.
We go walking in the dark. We go walking out at night. And it's not as lovers go two by two, to and fro, but it's one by one. One by one in the dark, we go walking out at night. As we wander through the grass, we can hear each other pass, but we're far apart. Far apart in the dark, we go walking out at night, with the grass so dark and tall, we are lost past recall. If the moon is down, and the moon is down, we are walking in the dark. If I had your hand in mine, I could shine like the morning sun, like the sun.
Today we are celebrating a special time of life. We take time throughout our congregational year to do this, sharing baby dedications, coming of age, bridging, weddings, and memorial services. Many of these important moments have been celebrated in new or different ways over the last 2 years, and today I'm inviting you to celebrate a special time with a ceremony that may be new to many of you.
Today, we are sharing a special celebration for our kindergartners and first graders. We've named it an Age of Confidence ceremony, though in other congregations you may hear it called by a different name. It celebrates children who are beginning an amazing journey. Kindergartners and first graders often begin a part of their personal journey where they're developing strong passions. They've found independently, they're learning in new ways, and may be seeking answers outside of the home for the very first time. Maybe they've begun school or started exploring books in new ways. Unitarian Universalists think that it's very important to think for yourself, and these children are beginning to have new opportunities to think for themselves and grow confidence in who they are at school or at home. We think that that is worth celebrating.
Many cultures throughout history have noticed the important growing up that children do around this age. In medieval times, court apprenticeships began now, and children began learning the work that they would do when they grew up. In common law, these children are responsible for their actions. The Catholic Church offers First Communion to first graders as a mark of their growing up. Some congregations, some UU congregations, celebrate this age as the age of reading or the age of reason. Though the origin of this specific ritual is lost to the depths of history, I'm delighted to be bringing it here to our Unitarian Universalist community to celebrate this special time in these children's lives by inviting each of our young people's families to choose a special book for them.
So today, I invite our young friends and their caregivers to come forward. The children, as they come forward, will be traveling through a tunnel created by members and friends. If you were one of those people who agreed to hold the sign, if you could hold that up now, that would be awesome. The words on the path read, seek, question, discover, interest, faith, and confidence. And they're going to be held over that little aisle there. Children, the young friends and their caregivers will come forward to share which book they've chosen and why they've chosen to celebrate it today. So welcome Age of Confidence families.
If my friends could go find Emily in the back.
Waving her hands.
Yeah, Emily's back there waving for you, and their adults can go ahead and come forward. I invite Maria to come forward. Wait, just Maria first. Or everybody, that works too.
I'm Maria. I'd like to present you with this book. It's an anthology of some of the great books of the 20th century. So my name is John, this is my partner Veronica, and this is Maria Christina.
And we are so happy she's joined this book that John read when he was little. So she's learning about John's childhood a little bit.
That book is from us.
Yeah, so Maria Christina, that book is from us for you to have as well. Congratulations. We're so glad you're here and you're in this phase of your life.
I'm Nicole. This is my husband Robert and our child Elon, and I'll let Robert present the book.
Elon, this is one of my favorite books when I was growing up, The Wind in the Willows. It's a very imaginative book, and you have a really great imagination, so I'm looking forward to sharing this with you and all the adventures that you have coming up.
Okay, and Elon, this book about Unitarian Universalism is from us, and we are so glad you're here and in this part of your life. Welcome. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Margaret, and this is my husband Prahlad, and this is our son Liam. And Liam, today we're giving you Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and it's a book full of adventure and imagination and curiosity, and we hope that you will have a life full of those things and a lifelong love of reading.
And Liam, here is your book about Unitarian Universalism. We're so glad you're here too. Congratulations.
Thank you to Maria, Elon, Liam, and their adults in their lives. You may all go ahead and have a seat. Thank you so much. As Antoine Saint-Exupéry wrote, "In a house which becomes a home, one hands down and another takes up the heritage of mind and heart, laughter and deeds, Laughter and tears, musings and deeds. Love, like a carefully loaded ship, crosses the gulf between generations. Therefore, we do not neglect the ceremonies of our passage. Therefore, we celebrate today with these families, these children, the beginning of their age of confidence. Congratulations. Thank you to everyone for witnessing this important ritual.
All right, happy Banned Books Week. I'll admit I was struggling to figure out how to summarize all of my thoughts and feelings about Banned Books Week into just 3 minutes, so I'll do it, I promise, but I was still figuring it out, let's say, less than 12 hours ago or so. So, with apologies to those who create the bibliography and rely on the bibliography, there's been some changes. This new Age of Confidence celebration is so exciting to me. It got me thinking about literacy in general, which made me think of Paulo Freire's The Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And my main takeaway when first reading that book several years ago was that true literacy means not just the ability to read, but to interpret and ultimately to create, to take an active role rather than a passive one. And I revisited that book yesterday when thinking about this. It's maybe not surprising that books and other materials have been challenged at unusually high rates recently, and we're seeing targeted, orchestrated book challenges in a way we never really have before. Freire tells us this kind of activity isn't unusual in the midst of so-called populist movements where the ultimate goals are actually for the powerful to retain power. He quotes Simone de Beauvoir in reminding us the interests of the powerful lie in, quote, changing the consciousness of the oppressed, not the situation which oppresses them. These movements tie people into illogical knots, convincing them that defending the status quo is the defense of freedom, that there are fixed truths to be passively received, and they can feel ownership over the act of defending those truths. In reality, Freire says, they're acting to defend oppression, not freedom. They defend the powerful's interests, not their own. They ultimately fear freedom, which requires responsibility, when the status quo offers comfort and the predictability of what is already known. So, this book makes me uncomfortable, get rid of it. This book might make my kid feel things or think differently than me, God forbid. Shouldn't be in a school. But Freire goes on to say that those interested in liberation can't adopt the same tactics. We can't replace bad slogans with slogans we like better. We have to engage in critical thinking and encourage others to do the same. In his words, it's the difference between communication and communiques, to know rather than to memorize, to reflect rather than to receive. It's revolutionary and dynamic, rather than reactionary and static. So we read banned books. We ask why they're challenged. We engage with the books themselves, but also we hopefully engage with those who fear them. Virginia Woolf said, lock up your libraries if you like, but there is no gate, no lock, no bolt that you can set upon the freedom of my mind. Freire imagines a populace I think many you use would also enjoy. People, quote, who move forward and look ahead, for whom immobility represents a fatal threat, for whom looking at the past must only be a means of understanding more clearly what and who they are, so they can more wisely build the future. For whom looking at the past must only be a means of understanding more clearly what and who they are, so they can more wisely build the future. May it be so.
As we move into a time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer, I invite you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes and to notice. Simply notice what has come up for you as we have talked about books today. A book that sparked a joy, a time that helped you feel connected, something that opened your mind and heart to new experiences, to change. May these books and these people, these wonderings and these experiences continue to call us into our ongoing journeys. May they continue to help us create change in the world and open more minds and hearts. So may it be. Blessed be. Amen.
Nurturing gratitude and on how we understand and express interdependence is part of how we live into our Unitarian Universalist faith. May what has been shared today help us more fully affirm our interconnection and live into love and justice. Immediately after today's service, we'll have activities to help us continue reflecting on and celebrating the importance of books. If you're online, a link to our Zoom coffee hour rooms where you can join in conversation and community is being dropped into the chat. If you're in person, we'll gather in the fellowship hall and outside to engage with banned and challenged books. In the fellowship hall, you can make art about banned and challenged books, read banned or challenged books, and if you want, record yourself talking about the importance of these books to you and to connect with the LGBTQ Iowa Archives and Library. Outside, we have a story walk with the book What the Road Said by Cleo Wade. Story walk starts at the front doors, turn left and follow the trail through the woods, and then come back through the back doors. And if you'd like to know more about the resources used in today's service, you can find a bibliography at the end of the email order of service or using the QR code on your print order of service, except for my missing piece that I didn't add until late last night, which is Paulo Freire's The Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And now to close our service today, we'll sing hymn number 1023, Building Bridges.
Could make such sweet harmony.
Please join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All of these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again.
As you go out into the world this day and this week, may you keep learning. May you keep growing and changing, challenging yourself and supporting yourselves and each other in this ongoing search for truth and meaning. And may we all go in peace, love, and justice, living love ever more fully and fiercely into this world. Amen. And blessed, blessed be. And after our choral benediction, let's all head out to continue our service with activities as we celebrate books. Amen.
Good morning. I made a slight change to what I was singing because of the text of this piece, Sure on This Shining Night by Samuel Barber. The ending talks about weeping for wonder and having hope, and that's what I think we have to have hope that censorship does not continue so people's minds can be allowed to be curious and to wonder. Sure on this shining night of stormy shadows round, kindness must watch for me this side the ground. The late years lie down the north. All is healed. All is health. High summer holds the earth. Hearts all whole. Sure on this shining night